Hey YouTube, welcome back to Love for Crypto. So this video I'm just going to do sort of like an outlook for the week, a market outlook. Just have a little talk about what happened last week going into the weekend. I think the community, especially the ones that are new to the community, have not really had a taste of a bull run yet. I think they got the first little dose of it last week, 100%. As we spoke about, I mean, I think the price bottomed out around 25 cents, and then we've seen that initial lift up into the 33-cent region, and then from that point we was trying to push, and obviously we broke through, pushed as far high in the price as 80 cents on Bitfinex, or might be 78 cents, but what a run that was, and what a pump, and it just goes to show how quick this market can change. In my opinion, I do believe that 25 cents was the bottom of that cycle, that long bear run that we had since, I think it would have been around 12th of January, I think it was, when CoinMarketCap decided to remove Asian markets. That was the initial trigger for XRP. That actually started bringing the bearish sentiments to the market. But anyway, so we had a great little run last week. I know myself, Scott, Hooded Suburban and Demore, Patrice St. Pierre in our group chat was, we'll put it this way, there's over 1,000 messages in the space of around 4 hours, so I'm sure that goes to say for everyone. It really does open your eyes to see how fast these markets can move, and it does go to show that there is money there waiting on the sidelines, waiting for that right moment to strike. So the purpose of this video today is more of a market outlook for the rest of this week. We've seen the retracement back from that 78 cents region. Of course, it was unsustainable, that pump, and we expected a pullback, and I think we've seen around maybe 30% pullback from the top of that pump that we had. Now going into, obviously we've got Swell coming up next Monday. I believe it's going to be a very anticipated event for lots of investors, especially those who are waiting on the sidelines. Not just that, those retail investors. I'm sure there's a lot of news that's going to come out of Swell, which could influence the price of the market. But regardless of that, anyway, I don't think we have completed this correction yet. I do personally believe that we are going to drop into sub 50 cent range, and I'm personally waiting to try and catch a long position margin call on Bitfinex at the leverage, and I am expecting $1 to be hit at the back end of this week. I think for myself personally, I'm looking at certain prices, and the numbers I've got in my mind from Fibonacci retracements plus key support regions, I think we're looking anywhere in between the 44 cents to the 48 cents region as being a good long position for a short-term trade. Obviously, when I do say this to you, I have got my own bag of XRP that I will not be touching, that I do believe is key to just keep out of trades and just to hold for long term. So obviously I've got my stash of that, but I have got a little bit to the side that I do use for these. I mean, we've seen volatility that we probably witnessed back in December, January. I mean, the volume that was generated from that run was unbelievable, and if we can get volume like that just from speculation, which I just genuinely believe that's all it was. I don't believe it was no XRapid soft launch, no XRapid launch, no testing. It definitely was nothing to do with that. You can see that by looking at the XRP charts where the volume was coming from, and it did just look like overall sort of speculative trading, I'd say, with obviously the added ingredient of FOMO added to the top. And obviously that's why we couldn't sustain the point that we reached, which was around 79 cents, because a lot of that was FOMO. And obviously by the time that's entered the market, that is a good time to close your long positions, maybe enter a short, which I'm sure many traders did do. Like I say, the volatility there, they say if you can't make money with volatility like that, then you shouldn't be trading, and it's definitely right. I don't recommend trading to anybody, especially swing trading, if you do not know what you're doing, and I definitely won't just take somebody's advice off Twitter or YouTube. Definitely make sure that you are well educated in technical analysis, Elliott wave theory, how to use your Fibonacci tools, you know, those sort of basics that can help get you moving to begin with. And you've always got to remember your fundamentals below that as well. Of course, as I've just stated, we've got Swell next Monday, so I expect Monday, Tuesday this week, I do expect a slow decrease. We might see a sharp sell-off, which then could automatically reverse into the next sort of uptrend, if you want to call it that. But I wouldn't. I think we've got more to go down yet. I really do. I think 48 cents, 44 cents, maybe not as low as 44 cents, but we don't know. Obviously, there's people in this market to make money, and that's what they do. They'll short markets in overbought regions, scalping the tops off, you know, even for 5% profits, but without volatility. You know, we've seen 10% swings every fucking hour, so it was fucking paradise for the day trader. So moving onwards, yeah, I do believe that's our sort of key support. Obviously, failing to hold that support, we're going to go a lot lower. But I think if we do come down to that 44 cents, I think we will see a sharp bounce off it, which will automatically then start generating an impulsive way to the top. That's only my own. Obviously, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I am not a professional trader. I'm sort of in the educational process myself. I mean, I have been doing Forex since sort of 2015, sort of dropped away from it a bit. But since I got into cryptocurrency, I felt it was a needed skill to learn for, you know, investment, whether you're not going to look at doing trading, you know, on a macro level, you know, day trading, or whether you're doing it at sort of weeks at a time, swing trading. I do believe it's key for everybody in this community to definitely do some learning in technical analysis, because it can really help you out, especially if it's coming to points where you are looking to maybe take some of your position back, you know, take your initial investment, so you're just playing with house money just for certain you know, scenarios like that. Really, it's definitely an integral skill as well for the future. Obviously, we have inflation with our current monetary system, and the longer that you keep holding your feet in your bank, the more it devalues over the years. I mean, obviously, if you have a look in Turkey, it's absolutely horrendous what's happened over there over the past 12 months. I think we've seen 45% decrease this year, but a total of 80% over the 2 years. So, you know, it's very advantageous learning how to do trading, technical analysis, and always remembering the fundamentals that are underlying those technicals as well. So what I'm going to talk about now, I think, moving forwards, is where we're going to see XRP at the back end of this week. Again, this is my own opinion. I don't expect anybody to take this as the gospel, and I don't expect anybody to be opening trades against my opinion. I highly suggest that you don't do that with anybody, really, unless you're following someone who's, you know, very capable at what they're doing. Maybe paying a premium for their services, a professional trader, someone for financial advice, and it's different. But, you know, I'm just an ordinary guy like yourselves. I'm not trying to pretend that I'm somebody special. I'm just going off my opinion. But I do like to feel that I do have a very good understanding of technical analysis and certain types of trading methods. Obviously, I've just gone for one, stuck to it, continuously started learning, put it into practice, and I've been doing well. I did open a long position at 36 cents last week. I'm closed at 63 cents. When I closed at 63 cents, it then ran up to 79 cents. And yeah, maybe it did close it a little bit premature, but that was a very unsustainable spike. And if you was to look at a chart where 63 cents was, it was not far off the top, if you want to call it that. There was only a very small range of time frame where you probably could have got a higher out of that trade. So I was very happy with that. Me and Scott, we've got a joint love for crypto portfolio, if you want to call it that. So I utilised, you know, 1,000 of our XRP, put it into a long position of Bitfinex. Obviously, it's leveraged on there, so in theory, it's sort of like a 3,000 XRP trade, well, US dollar equivalent. And you know, just from using that 1,000 XRP, we managed to accumulate another 850 XRP on top of it. And that's what I'm planning on doing moving forwards. Again, I'm using a very, very small percentage of equity going into these trades. It's always good looking back on hindsight. You know, I could have done it in that instance. You know, I could have took 10,000 of my XRP and done that very same trade, and I could have accumulated 8,000. But you do need to remember, when you are opening these margin positions, you can get liquidated, and the risk is real. You know, the possibilities of you losing your full equity invested into that trade is 100% real, and it can be very painful if you actually do get liquidated. So you have to, like I say, I don't just go out and start doing this. Honestly, you need to get a good year's education behind you, really, from all sorts of different opinions and figures who do trading. You know, there's all types of different strategies you can play, breakout strategies, you know, scalping strategies. But I believe now I'm going to try and open an order in between the 44 cents to 48 cents. And I genuinely believe with the fundamentals that we have going into this week, especially with Swell, I can really see XRP really push into that dollar value this time round. Again, it's one of those you have to just take in consideration. I'm a die-hard XRP holder, and I always want the price to go up and up and up, but that's just not how markets work. One thing I will tell you is how these markets work. Is buy the news and sell the rumour. Now that is real. For however long that remains, only time can tell. But I think we're definitely seeing that this week. I also think that CNBC are going to start plastering Ripple all over the screens as well this week. I can really see that happening. They've been a bit radio silent, but I've noticed over this weekend there has been a couple. Obviously, we had Mike Novogratz and CNBC Fast Money, who's talking about Ripple, and CNBC themselves on the Twitter account seems to be a bit more about exposing Ripple, which is making me think they've got a bit of an agenda towards it. Whether it's just a quick trade for themselves, you know, we never know. I'm sure all that dodgy dealings is happening anyway. So I'd like to definitely think that we can see a dollar at the end of this week, leading back end of Friday, maybe going into Saturday morning. And then I think as soon as we do see that dollar, I think it's going to be a big, massive psychological barrier there, and we will see some. Again, it's another opportunity to trade. I think if it is the dollar, I think we're going to get some serious rejection, and we're going to start getting the pullback from this next impulsive wave. And like in the last one, we've seen an A, B, C, D, E correction, a falling wedge, and we did have an impulse back up. And I'd like to think that's sort of where we are, but we start, you know, at the 55 cents range, but we are dripping down. I'd like to see 48 cents get touched. I'd be 100% considering opening a short-term long position again to try and accumulate more XRP. You know, from January times, I sat back and watched my entire equity just drop by 90%. I didn't take no action on it. Yeah, I felt I'd done by. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, I never lost faith in what Ripple was doing, but I did learn very key factors of markets and the cycles, because I am actually emotionally attached to XRP. Although you say you shouldn't be emotionally attached, when I do say that I say I know I'm 100% where this is going in the future. That's why I've got a bag load of XRP that I will refuse to touch, regardless how tempting a trade may appear to be. And I'm using a very small marginal part of the equity to actually, you know, try and flip and do it on that manner rather than going all in, because that's just absolutely idiotic. I think we're gonna definitely get that build up this week. Over the weekend, we could potentially retrace to around maybe 80-70 cents, and then I think we got Swell on the Monday, and it all depends what happens there. Last year we got the Mutual Loot drop with Bill Gates, Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation. I'm sure that project's coming on very fine in collaboration with W3C and Swift as well, if you wasn't aware of that. So, you know, we know that Ripple and XRP are in collaboration with W3C. Absolutely, Coil has actually been brought back, has been brought onto that board as well. I think which is going to start aiding micro transactions and web monetization very well. But yeah, I think that's why my week outlook. I could be completely wrong. We could plummet. We could go back down to 20 cents. Who knows? It's the beauty of crypto. It keeps you on your fucking toes, to tell you that now. But that's my plan. I'm going to aim for between 44 to 48 cents. Try and open a long position. Try and stay in the back of it all the way up to $1. I'll close my long position, depending how we're looking on the RSI, and see if we can get any bearish divergences showing on the MACD or the RSI at that point, and I may even open up a quick short position as well on the way back down. But I think we definitely, I think the impulse that we seen last week, I'd like to feel like we're going to get another one of them this week. It feels right, technically and fundamentally. As I say, if you look at the XRP charts at the moment, it's not exactly a screaming buy yet. Again, I do believe we've got more retracement to the downside. I'd like to see that 50% fib get hit. Maybe I think that maybe as low it's going to go. I can't see it dropping any lower to the point 0.618 for retracement. I can't see it happening. I think there's just too much bullish momentum. I also think there's people playing these markets a little bit. It definitely won't X-rapid that sort of surge of investments. Whether it's institutional money, whether someone's happy at that price and they've wanted to go all in. But again, institutional money will have done OTC. So is this the institutional money that have accumulated all the XRP during the bear market, during those 20 cents regions, 30 cents regions? Maybe they've got the bags loaded now and they want to flip this narrative and they're going through the order books at the front door, which is influencing the price, which is making it go higher, giving it that sort of sense of illusion. I mean, these are the things you've got to learn these days now, because mainstream media are just absolute bias to whatever specific narrative they've been told to be biased towards. But I definitely think we're going to get a retracement. Today, I'd like to see it maybe hit those supports tomorrow, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'd like to see a surge. Definitely moving towards the back end of Friday as the markets will close. I mean, obviously, crypto's 24/7, but you need to take in consideration these people that are, you know, working for the likes of JP Morgan and Citigroup, you know, on trading desk. You know, they will be working on Monday to Friday, so that's why usually we just see a lot of bot trading over the weekends and not actual, if you want to call it, real money, so to speak. And then obviously it's Swell. I'm really looking forward to Swell. We've got Bill Clinton there. If any of you was watching my documentary, I just want to say massive thanks to absolutely everybody who's committed the time to watching the documentary. It's only been out for around 34 hours. It's already at nearly 20,000 views, 800 likes. Couldn't have asked for anything better, really. I understand it's very long, but I do understand there's a lot of people in this space that really probably don't understand who the deep state are, the shadow governments, and exactly, you know, what happens in the world in regards to mainstream media and Wall Street and Silicon Valley, how it's all interconnected in that regards as well. So, and the comments and feedback were unbelievable. I was a little bit nervous releasing this documentary because, well, as I say at the start of it, I do question my own sanity with the research I've done. I'm going too deep, looking way beneath the lines of where we should be. But in all honesty, I can't help but feel the way that I think on the knowledge that I've gathered anyway over the past few months. But again, thanks for all your support for the documentary. It really does mean a lot to me. If you've not watched it, obviously it'll be the video before this one. It's on for a long time. It's not really one of these little quick sort of videos. But I am going to continue doing these videos every time I'm in work, every time I'm in my van and I'm on a drive. I'm going to try and pick up like the hot topic of the day maybe. I'm going to try and stay away from the echo chambering. I think there's a lot of people already covering sort of main news. I'm just going to be talking more about maybe my own personal opinion. I know we've got, like I say, we were doing very well at the start of this year. I had my own personal issues with YouTube and sort of just refused to make content really, but you know, fuck it, why let them beat you down? Do you know what I mean? There's community out there, people that like to wear, love for cryptos, standpoints, views on you know, developments in the cryptocurrency world, if you want to call it that. And I think we've got a lot to look forward to. 100% got a lot to look for. I mean, I could be wrong. I've got a very bullish sentiment for this week, though. I think it's definitely a buy. I'm just trying to catch it at a best price that I can do personally. To buy in the markets now, again, it's just you've got to worry about your liquidation price and your margin. So I am being very specific price-wise. If I miss it, I miss it. It's just how it is. You know, I'm not out there trying to force a trade. I'm trying to wait for an appealing trade to come to me where I 100% feel like I'm going to earn some money and get a good return of investment back from that trade. But yeah, again, I think we're going to go to 40, 44, 48. I think we're definitely going to bounce to a dollar. We may even break the dollar, but I think it will be a very temperamental break, and I think we'll get rejected instantly back down to 80, 70 cents and maybe find a new plateau there going into the week of Swell. And then after that, it all depends what happens at Swell. If it's just nothing's been announced, just the same old shit that we hear all the time, then expect a sell-off. Really do expect a sell-off. But who knows? We've got Bill Clinton there. You know, he's deep in with deep state. That's just another one if you have watched the documentary. Just to bear in mind, they've got fucking President Bill Clinton speaking on their behalf. And we know how entrenched they are in the finance industry worldwide. They've got a worldwide sort of, you know, dominance to them. Obviously, it's the fucking Clintons, isn't it? Ex-presidents. the man who ushered in the e-commerce fucking sort of regulatory framework sort of thing to the UN. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to try and keep the minutes 20 minutes, between 15 and 20 minutes each time I do these videos now. I may even do fucking 2 a day, see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support for that documentary. It means the world to me. See you in a bit.